or the National Security Council does. In some ways, some of the most important things we do are what we are. It's the functioning of the courts, it's the functioning of the media, it's the functioning of the economy, it's the functioning of the society. It's simply whether we send the message that America works, that democracy is in play. And when we're dysfunctional, that undermines our appeal. And when we kind of act the way we were designed to act, it actually sends a reassuring message to the world. So I actually thought yesterday was a pretty good day.
Yeah, the coverage, though, leading up to this was fascinating, Willie.
Yeah, actually, commentators on Fox News seem to have high hopes for what U.S. District Court Judge Emmett Sullivan would do after he took over the case early this year and pushed special counsel Robert Mueller's investigators to turn over evidence and documents so the judge could personally review Michael Flynn's guilty plea.
Tuesdays, the parties will appear again before Judge Emmett Sullivan, a jurist unafraid of the swamp.
The interesting thing about this Judge Sullivan,
who has a track record of calling out prosecutorial misconduct.
He was so angry at the abuse of power back then in the Ted Stevens case.
A man who does not tolerate injustice.
He ordered a special investigation into the investigators. He was so pissed off.
Ted Stevens is a perfect example of why Judge Sullivan is so important.
Why are you charging this guy with something he didn't do?
Emmett Sullivan has a reputation for wanting to know that the government has done everything by the book.
That's something that I hope Judge Emmett Sullivan on Tuesday at the sentencing poses to the Mueller team of partisans.
The question is, should they be rewarded for breaking the rule, or should Judge Sullivan impose a consequence on them?
Sullivan said, I'll decide what's exculpatory. Give me all of it.
If he finds that they falsified evidence, he can throw out the guilty plea.
Can throw out this guilty plea.
And set him free.
I think it's going to be fascinating with Judge Sullivan and what he's going to do at the first part of the week here.
When you push all your chips to the middle of the table, you better be damn sure you got a good hand.
Yeah, that was rough.
Ooh, wow, that one came
way
up.
off.
That one came up, Snake Eyes. Joyce, it's one thing if you're Bobby Knight and you're working the refs all day and maybe you throw a chair across the gymnasium once in a while, but you don't do this to federal judges. I mean, I learned as a lawyer, when a federal judge walked by, I kept my head down and kept walking, just like I did that to AP reporters in Congress. See, there's some people you just don't poke at and prod. And I just got to believe the president and all the chatter from the Trump apologists, and that being picked up specifically by Flynn's lawyers, got this judge a little worked up.
The judiciary takes its independence incredibly seriously. And there's no doubt that they've been under attack by this administration and that individual judges feel that deeply, but they've nonetheless kept their heads down, gone to work, created rulings, done it in an independent way that honors the tradition of following the law in this country. And this is a judge who I don't think appreciated being used as a political football, as a political tool. His decision at the end of the day was grounded on his assessment of the law and the sentencing regime that was in front of him on this particular case. He didn't play into the hand that the political types expected in this instance. And it's interesting, the footnote here, of course, is that he was the judge in the Ted Stevens case, the prosecution by the Justice Department of an Alaska senator that went badly wrong. Judge Sullivan believed that the government had withheld exculpatory evidence and took the government to task. And so the misread here was that he was anti-government, when in reality this was a judge who simply wants the government to follow the law. And that's what he tried to do yesterday, to hold everyone to their legal duties as he saw it.
That indeed, and I think Mike may be correct also. He may have seen some unredacted evidence. He may know more than the rest of us do. Anybody involved in this case understands we know very, very little of what Robert Mueller has right now. And if you're a federal judge and you're seeing a guy walk in this case, it might upset you.
So still ahead on Morning Joe, Arizona gets a new senator. Criminal justice reform sails